Heyo, what's good reader fam? Today I'm going to be reacting to some of your weird reading habits. I went over on my Instagram at jessethereader if you want to follow me, asked you guys to submit your weird reading habits, and today I'm going to be reacting and commenting on these weird reading habits. Hopefully this will make for an interesting video. We'll find out today. I'm also really curious to find out how weird these reading habits are because I feel like often more than not we're like, oh, this is so weird, and it's like, yeah, that's not that weird. We all do that. But who knows? Let's find out. Without further ado, let's get started. I have to listen to music while I'm reading, otherwise I can't focus. I feel like I hardly ever see people say that they listen to music while reading, but honestly, I give you all the props, all the credit, because the second that some other sound comes into my ears while I'm reading, I am full on distracted. I'm sucked out of the story. It can be like a little cricket making music outside my window and I'm just like, shut up, I'm trying to read. I'm all about you being able to make your beautiful music, but can you take it elsewhere, please? I'm trying to read. And yet at the same time, I can listen to pouring down rain outside and thunder and not be bothered at all. In fact, that's my soundtrack of choice when it comes to reading. It creates the best reading ambiance for me. I can't read without having an anime playing in the background. Again, I say props to you, but also how do you do it? How do you concentrate while there's an anime playing? I'd end up watching the show instead of actually reading, or I'd be trying to read and instead of actually reading, I'd just be listening to the dialogue on the anime instead of actually reading the words in front of me. Or I'm listening to the anime and just reading the same sentence over and over and over again. I know there are some of you people out there who can multitask your way through life while doing other things and reading, and I can do that with audiobooks. You can catch me killing it on Candy Crush while listening to an audiobook. Now that's what I call talent. But like, there are booktubers who can listen to audiobooks while editing their videos, and that's just a whole nother level of talent. Like, how do you do it? I do not understand. I need lessons in multitasking. Low-key jealous because that is so productive, but it also just gives me a headache thinking about it. I read the last chapter first. I am offended, not really, but also why? I guess it can be helpful in preparing yourself mentally in case there's this big, crazy, chaotic ending or this major plot twist. A plot twist that will punch you in the gut, but I still don't get it. I guess it could be a good way to kind of figure out how the author gets the story to that point. But heck, I'd rather just reread the story than spoil myself for the ending. Y'all should try that concept. It's a beautiful concept. Whenever I finish a book, I mark it with a sticky tab to show that I've read it. I can kind of understand this because it's like I need some validation after I finish that book. Like, look at me go, I finished that book and that book and that book, look at all these tabs. But I'm just imagining seeing all these tab books up against books that I haven't read yet and exposing myself for the true trash can that I am. Because you all know the amount of unread books I have is absurd. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still bad. I feel like this would just make me even more aware of all the unread books I have, and that is something that I don't want. Out of sight, out of mind. But also something that could be beneficial, I guess. It's like, here's all the things that you've read, and here's the reality of all the books that you haven't read yet, you lazy reader, you. Sounds like a full-on attack if you ask me, but sometimes we need to be attacked like that. Sometimes in a reading slump, the only way I can read is in a moving van or at church. Oh wow, that's really interesting. I wonder if it's just like the change of scenery that kind of spices up your reading life, helps you get out of that slumpity slump. I can usually read in a car as well. It doesn't necessarily get me out of a reading slump, I don't think. I mean, I've never tried it, so maybe I should try it. Maybe it'll help me in my next reading slump. The only thing is, if it's not quiet in the car, like the second somebody talks, I'm like, closing that book, it's over, I can't read no more. Because I'm not about to be pulled in and out of the book every time somebody opens their mouth. Not gonna happen. I'm not about that reader whiplash life. I probably wouldn't be able to read at my church because it's loud as heck, but props to you for being able to. I have to read upside down, hanging off my bed. This does not sound like the smartest idea. My head is hurting for your head, and your head is probably hurting because you're doing this to your head. Like, all that blood is rushing to your head. Tell me you do this for like 5 seconds just to get yourself started, and then you flip over into another reading position. Tell me that's what you do, because I'm concerned for you. Please take care of yourself. Treat your head the way you'd want other heads to be treated. Your books need you to take care of yourself, that way you can take care of them. I read chapter summaries alongside the book because I am scatterbrained and I get distracted easily. I appreciate the dedication, honestly. I feel like this is such a good idea, and it's good on you that you're taking the time to make sure that you're getting all the information instead of just being like, I'll just be scatterbrained and rush my way through these books. I mean, I'm sure it's probably a hassle to do this, but I imagine it's also pretty beneficial, so good on you. I approve. Not that you need my approval or anything. I imitate the things the book says the characters do. I love this. I don't do this, but I definitely did this growing up. Like when I read the A Series of Unfortunate Events series, I always wanted glasses like Klaus, or I'd like make all these different inventions that didn't even work, but I just wanted to be like Violet. I will say that I never felt the need to bite things like Sunny, but that's probably a good thing. I also used to pretend that I was the 4th long-lost Baudelaire child, and I showed up to rescue the kids from Count Olaf, and we had this big chaotic situation where I had to like help them and save them, and it was It was wild. I was a weird child, okay? Honestly, not much has changed, unfortunately. I read the last word of the book before I start the book. I feel like this is at least better than reading the entire last chapter or the last portion of the book, but also I still don't understand this. Y'all can do whatever you want, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna understand. If someone wants to write me an essay explaining to me the benefits of reading the last portion before you read the book, I would gladly read it and try to see your point of view, because I'm an open person, open to new ideas, but I need there to be benefits before I'm fully on board. You feel? I'm saying all this and yet I did a video where I read a book completely backwards, so I don't know what that says about me. If it's a paperback, I read the book half open because I hate creases and spines. I call this dedication to keeping your books in good condition, but it also feels like it would be a pain in the butt to have to hold it this way the whole time. And I mean, books age just like we do, and we need to be accepting of the wrinkles that they get on their spines. A wrinkle holds a story. A crease holds a story of the time you read this book. There are no creases on this book, which means I haven't read this book yet, so oops. Bad example. A little crease never hurt nobody, except for those who keep their books in top-notch condition. And to that I say, can't relate. I have to wash my hands before I read or touch my books. I've never thought to do this, but I sort of get why you would. You don't want to get your dirty fingers all up on your books. You want to respect them with clean hands. They deserve fresh, squeaky, clean hands to hold them. I read out loud to myself when the plot gets slow or I'm just not in the mood to read. I used to do this too, and it's actually really helpful. It really does somehow help kind of speed up the story. I don't know how it works, but I'm not going to question it because it does work, and when something works, we don't question it. Except sometimes we do, because sometimes the way things work are corrupt and need to be questioned. But I'm not looking to go that deep today. If I'm reading a book where I don't love the writing style, I find myself correcting it in my head. Oh wow, this sounds like it's coming from the mind of a writer. But that also seems like it would be a lot of work. A lot of moments of pausing and fixing the writing style in your head, especially if the writing style is pretty bad. Then you'd be stopping like every paragraph to fix the bad writing. But I guess it's also kind of a good practice in writing. I can't read big fantasy books with my eyes, I have to listen to the audiobook. Ooh, this is really interesting because for me it's really different where I have to listen to the audiobook and read the physical book with my eyeballs to be fully immersed in the world and kind of understand everything that's happening. Wait, hold up, I need to clarify. Clarification! I don't always do it, and when I do it, it's mostly with fantasy books. I guess it's just really beneficial for me to both hear it in my ears and see it with my eyeballs. I don't know how or why it works. It just works that way, and like I said, we don't question things that work. Unless there's an easier way to go about something, then we can question it. With that being said, there's probably an easier method to all of this. I don't know. That's just how I do it sometimes. I sometimes write a reply in my books to characters if they say or do something dumb. This is actually so funny to me, like what a sassy and petty thing to do. I've never written replies on the book, but I definitely have moments where I'm thinking to myself, wow, you are so stupid right now. What are you doing? Stop doing what you're doing. Can you just be smart for once? But at the same time, I know that good and well, if I were in these character situations, that I would be just as stupid, if not more stupid. I don't like to get a series all in the same cover. Literally never heard of someone being like, why not have the series all in different covers? You, my friend, don't follow the ordinary reader path, and I dig that about you. Keep doing what you're doing. I read when I go to the toilet and spend way too much time in there. I mean, if you've got time to read on the toilet, why not take that chance to read, am I right? I check my phone after every chapter. I totally get this. I'm guilty of doing this from time to time. I get to a point though where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take my phone and put it in the other room. If there's an emergency, then I will not be available. Sorry, priorities. I move my hands during the dialogue in the book. I love this so much. I've never heard of anyone doing this before, but it makes me want to like watch you while you're reading, not in a creepy way, just to see how your hands move while you read the dialogue. I act out the character's facial expressions as I read them. Okay, again, this one is hilarious as well. I want to watch you while you read. I know it sounds weird, but I just want to see how your facial expressions change every time you read. I read sitting upside down. Again, why are you all doing this to yourself? I'm concerned. Be good to yourself. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but also stop. While reading, I chew on my tongue. You chew on your tongue while you read? Interesting. I wonder if you ever chew too hard and draw blood. If so, that's not good. I feel bad for your tongue. It's not like it's a gummy bear. Treat your tongue nicely, unless it feels like a tongue massage, and keep doing what you're doing, I guess. I mean, it's your tongue. I can't tell you what to do with your tongue, but I'm gonna stop. This is getting weird. Okay, so that was me reacting to some of your weird reading habits. You guys should let me know down below in the comments if you have any weird reading habits, and maybe I'll make a part 2 of this video. Did you find any of the ones that I mentioned in today's video are ones that you do? Let me know down below in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thanks for watching, guys. I hope your day is bright and that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye-oh!